You're listening to the Bulldog Insider podcast, sponsored by Essentia Health.
Here, our hobbies become our work, and our work becomes our passion. But when joint pain or injuries keep us from doing what we love, it can affect our entire way of life. That's why we meet these challenges head on. Whatever your good day looks like, we'll find it together. This is Essentia Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, like nowhere else. Visit essentiahealth.org.
Hello and welcome to a bonus edition of the Bulldog Insider podcast, brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm Matt Wellens, the Bulldogs hockey beat writer at the Duluth News Tribune and the Rink Live. I'm joined by not only a couple of Bulldogs, but two members of the U.S. national junior team, sophomore defenseman Wyatt Kaiser and freshman center Dominic James. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Guys, I feel bad for the two of you the most. It's been a couple rough weeks here for the two of you. Last Tuesday, the Team USA game against Switzerland gets called off because of COVID. Then they call off the entire World Juniors tournament. This week, the Bulldogs series at St. Cloud now gets postponed because of COVID-19. I'm wondering, for you guys, how have you handled this roller coaster that you've gone on in the last week here? Wyatt, I don't know if this is anything like what you had to endure last year when you were a freshman at UMD.
Yeah, last year was more of like a slow process. It was like, we're probably not going to see many people. You're kind of isolated to your room constantly. There's more like a slow process. This year has definitely been a little different. It kind of started out fast paced. Everything seems like it's back to normal, and then it happens pretty quick. Everything's shut down. You're kind of isolated in your houses. So that's definitely been a little bit of a roller coaster, a little harder than it was last year, kind of getting the hopes up, but not too bad hanging out with the guys, though. I can never complain about that.
You mentioned getting back to normal. I booked all my travel in July, thinking everything was great, and now I'm on the phone today begging. We're recording this on Wednesday. I'm begging a hotel to give me a refund on a room that was non-refundable, which they did. Just the good people out there at St. Cloud. Dom, for you, what's the last week been like rolling with these punches from COVID?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the World Juniors. Once it got going, we got a couple of COVID cases. Kind of thought it'd be a possibility we could get canceled. And I guess it's just what life throws at you. So you can't do anything about it. You kind of just have to take it and go. So, I mean, once we got back, we were ready to go. We were excited to get going with the Bulldogs again. But, I mean, this hits us too. So, I mean, I guess it's just life again. So just stuff like this, you gotta battle through, and you gotta lean on people around you.
You mentioned that you guys are able to get back, and this is one of the craziest things of this whole week here. Both of you got back from the World Juniors in time to play against Minnesota State on Thursday and Saturday. Take me through what it took to get from Red Deer, Alberta to Mankato, Minnesota last Thursday. And Dom, I want to start with you because I believe you have the most interesting travel story from last Thursday.
Yeah, it was definitely a long day, but so we had a bus at 2 a.m. bus to Calgary at 2 a.m. 2-hour bus ride. I got there at 4. Went through customs and all of that. Ready for a 6:30 flight, and then it gets delayed. So we ended up being 9:40, a 9:40 flight, and we sat on the plane for about an hour. Just waiting for, I guess we had a leak or something, which, I mean, thankfully they checked, but sat on there, and then we flew, obviously, and then the drive to Mankato with CK and Caleb, and then we got to the rink, I don't know, 4:30. It was got some pasta, and yeah, it was cutting it close for sure.
We saw you, Bruce Siski and I saw UMD tweeted out the line chart, and we joked, okay, they're in the line chart, but I actually went back and mentioned they're in the lineup, but I actually haven't seen him in the building yet. And I actually ran into Zach Schneider on the way over from the hotel to the rink. And I had asked him, and this was probably around 4:30, 4:45, come to think of it now. I asked him if, hey, so there's Wyatt and Dom actually going to be in the game? He's like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Probably because he hadn't seen either of you two yet, or knew if you had made it back from Mankato or not. Was that like a nonstop flight from Calgary to Minneapolis, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Wyatt, you had a little easier. You didn't have to get up as early on Thursday.
No. So on Wednesday, we just had 2 positive cases, and we were just kind of like, we're waiting for everybody else's tests to come back. And another couple teams had like a case, I think it was. Not exactly sure what teams. And then as soon as a few games got postponed, we were kind of like, it's probably not looking too good. So hold where it's like 1:16, get an emergency like text, like be on the meeting 1:20 ASAP. And we're like, all right, well, it's canceled. So kind of just went through it like, we're canceled. We're going to try to get you guys home ASAP. So just kind of sitting around that day, hanging out with the guys, and then trying to get flights home. I'm not really thinking that we're going to be able to make it home for Thursday night's game against Mankato, but kind of threw out the possibility, like talked to our guy, his name's Bridge, our schedule man, like, think we could get back Thursday night for Mankato. He's like, I'll see what I can do. And he's like, all right, we got to do a 6:30 flight tomorrow. So my parents were there and they were staying in Calgary that night. I was like, well, if it's 6:30, I'd rather go there and get a good night rest. So went with my parents to the hotel and got up. Flight got delayed. Just waited a little bit. Made it to the airport. Same thing with Dom. Nice long flight home. Get to the hotel. And the ride to Mankato, car wasn't big enough, so we had a bag down the middle, scrunched each side, barely any room. So you're trying to sleep in the car, but you barely can. But get to the game around 4:30 or 4:45, and then just tried to kind of wrap your head around that you're playing tonight.
I feel like as this story is going to go along over the years, it's going to get closer and closer to puck drop that you could tell people like, oh yeah, we walked in right, from right into warmups or something like that. So who should we credit as like the genius that was able to get you guys scheduled on planes and from Red Deer to Mankato in a day like that?
Bridge.
Yeah, definitely got to be Bridge and then CK once we were in the States.
Yeah, no, Bridge he's unbelievable.
Yeah, throughout the whole trip, he was a magic man, just getting us what we needed. And when it came to the flights, he was right on it too. So
I don't think we had a meal that wasn't within 5 minutes of when it was planned. Like you get back from practice, we're within that 5-minute window every time.
Were you guys running on what was that game like on Thursday for the two of you in Mankato? Is that just running on pure adrenaline? Because Dom, you mentioned you've been up since 2 a.m. I don't know how much flight. I'm not able to sleep very well on planes. And even when I do, it's awful sleep. But like, are you guys running on pure adrenaline there on that Thursday night? What was that game like?
I can tell you the second period sucked for sure.
Yeah.
Coming in the locker room after the second period, you sit down, put your elbows on your knees, and just kind of head straight down, thinking, "Holy!"
It sounded like a good idea at the time, but now I'm second guessing it a little bit, right?
Yes. Coach comes in and talks to us. I'm kind of looking at Dom, like, "Oh, I can't move." Third period wasn't bad though. Actually, after you kind of got over the hump in the second, the third wasn't horrible.
Dom, how about for you?
Yeah, I think for sure me and Wyatt were looking at each other like, how are you feeling and checking in on each other. But I think once we got over that hump in the third period and it came down to crunch time, like we just wanted to win the game. We were throwing everything we had at it. So, I mean, yeah, it was tough, definitely to get mentally going. So
for you guys, it was especially nice to have that day off on New Year's Eve before playing again on Saturday.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dom, you took a nasty hit there on Saturday. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Yeah, getting better, definitely. Going to use this week, get better, and be ready for Monday, get ready for the next week.
You're still able to skate, or?
Yeah, I've been skating, had an orange jersey on, so no contact, but I was definitely planning on being in contact today.
Hunting jersey, as I like to call it out there.
Yeah.
When you guys are practicing. Guys, how are you going to remember this 2022 World Junior Championship with everything that went on from, getting to play in a couple games. Both of you put up points in those games, to the cancellation, and then, Thursday in Mankato. How are you going to remember this experience?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, it was a blast when we were there, meeting all the guys, ping pong games, Madden, always arguments about who's better at Madden. I don't know. It honestly feels like such a separate event, like from when the tournament and playing to actually the COVID, like getting sent home. It kind of feels separate. Like the tournament's kind of one in itself, and then getting sent home and playing to Mankato is another thing.
Dom, how about you? How are you going to remember this experience? You got to start it in your hometown of Plymouth there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the relationships for me. I mean, getting to meet a whole new group of guys and getting just to hang out with them every day. It was awesome. I mean, you dream about playing at the World Juniors. So it's still the World Juniors, and it's still something that's surreal and crazy that you did. But definitely with COVID and stuff, it seems to be a theme these days, taking stuff away from us. So yeah, that's just what I got to remember and run into Mankato. But yeah, just relationships with the guys and going through it together.
If they've talked about maybe trying to restart the tournament up and such, and I don't know how serious those talks are at all, but if they did, would you guys want to take part in it again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What if you guys got asked to take part in the Olympics?
Same thing. I mean,
yeah,
you got any chance to represent your country?
Yeah, no chance. You're saying no. It's representing your country.
What advice would you have for any teammates? I know your captain, Noah Cates, his name's been thrown out there maybe for an Olympic team. What advice would you have for him if the opportunity came?
Take it. Don't even hesitate.
Yeah. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, you don't know how many times you're going to get the chance to wear a USA jersey and represent your country. I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, it does suck that he would be leaving. But yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. Wouldn't feel bad. I mean, you got to be selfish sometimes.
Do you guys think USA Hockey did everything they could to protect you guys and keep you safe there in the World Juniors from COVID? Was there anything maybe you'd like to see the IIHF do, better, whether it's the next time around at the World Juniors or at the Olympics coming up in February?
I mean, yeah, USA did an unbelievable job. I mean, following directions from the IIHF. Couldn't ask for anything better. They were good. I mean, for how seriously they took COVID, they didn't give us very serious rules or put us in a very serious hotel with restrictions on public access and such. But I don't think they thought COVID was going to be a huge deal there and weren't very prepared for it. But it is what it is.
Do you guys think UMD is doing a better job than, I guess, compare the protocols that you guys are under at UMD here to what you were under at the World Juniors? And I'll bring up a quote that Scott Sandlin, your coach, has used multiple times during this pandemic, going back to last season. You can do everything right and still catch this virus. And I kind of feel like your team's a good example of that right now. You guys are vaccinated, you're boosted, but cases still come through.
I mean, that's exactly what our head guy, John, said in Red Deer. He said we did everything right. We did everything they asked us to do, and yet we still tested positive, or we still had positive cases. There's nothing we can do about that because we're doing everything right. So it's kind of similar here. We're doing everything right. We're taking precautions to be as safe as possible. But like he said, he can do everything right and still get it. But no, I would say that I don't know, it's pretty hard to compare the two. I mean, it's a 2-week tournament or a 3-week tournament to a season, which is very different in the way you handle things. So I wouldn't say I could compare them.
All right, guys. If any two players on the Bulldog team enjoy a surprise weekend off, it's probably the two of you who could use it after all the hockey you've been playing lately. Even though I know you'd still love to be playing this weekend, and we'd all like to be watching you in St. Cloud there. Thanks a lot for taking the time, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks again to Wyatt and Dom for recording this bonus episode of the Bulldog Insider podcast with me. Bulldog Insider comes out every Thursday, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe and rate us. For more Bulldogs hockey coverage, visit therinklive.com and DuluthNewsTribune.com. Thanks to our sponsor, Essentia Health, for their continued support of the Bulldog Insider podcast. We'll We'll be back with more next week. Thanks for listening.